Good morning, Facebook and YouTube and maybe Instagram. I don't know wherever I put this afterwards, but right now it's on Facebook, on my personal profile, and also in my group, A Life to Thrive, which I'm just sharing it there now. Okay, so is my work toxic positivity? And the reason that I'm sharing on this topic is because somebody suggested that it was yesterday to me. They commented on an Instagram post. I'm not very active on Instagram, but I want to become more active there. It's outside my comfort zone, which is why I need to be more active there and live stream there too. Anyway, so I want to share about my work and how it can be perceived as toxic positivity, which if I'm honest, it annoys me, when people see it like that, when they don't get it. At the same time, I do understand where people are coming from, because me saying, like, trust whatever challenge that you have and work with it and don't see it as the enemy, etc. When you're really battling and you've got anger that you need to process related to whatever challenge it is, etc., it can feel really unhelpful, to have that suggested, like, trust it, trust it, trust it. But it's not that. It's a different energy. So my work is not toxic positivity by any means. I just know that, you know, there's a space for anger, there's a space for resistance, and then there's a space for, okay, so how do I work with it now? How do I work with it now? Because working against it, when we continue to work against it, we have this negative energy towards it. And it's like, well, how can I benefit from this? So we're using it to our advantage. And it's not toxic positivity. It's it's a shift, a perspective shift, and it's a very empowered way to look at things. I also talk a lot about, like, what works against us is, seeing, really, really being invested in our pain and our struggles and seeing it as, nobody understands and nah, 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 nah. But as long as we feed that and add fuel to that fire, we're focused on that and we can't see outside of that. We can't see, and I know I personally experience this, all the time. Like, I catch it, I observe my mind, and when I can open my mind and open my heart and see things from a different perspective, and when I don't need anybody or anything in my life to be showing up any differently than they are, then I'm free to care more. I'm free to wonder what's going on for them, and I feel like a lot kinder human being and more empowered. It's a lot more empowered. We are powerful, powerful beings. But when we are feeding the narrative of the struggle, we lose our power to that struggle instead of using it and working with it. So that's the nature of my work, which is not any kind of toxic positivity. And um and yeah, it was also suggested that I was shaming women for, who are really struggling, and that's the risk that I'm going to take, and I saw her point on that. I was talking about menopause, and because I really, what has not helped me in the past is people saying, they're there now, that's really tough what you're going through, they're there now, and then you're like, yeah, it's really tough, and you're just in it, in the struggle of it. And it's like, well, actually, you know what, that's just part of it. That's How can we work with this? How can we work with this? How can we, shift out of it? Because everybody's going through a struggle, whether it be to do with health, to do with wealth, to do with relationships. Those are the big three. Every struggle that you have will fall into one of those three categories. And if you look around, it's fascinating. I was going to say, if you look around you, but a lot of it you can't see. The grass, although my grass is very green behind me, the grass, I promise you, is not greener on the other side. Everybody's fighting their own battles in some area of their life. And the ego will go into comparison and go, yeah, well, no, but they have it easier. You haven't got a clue if they have it easier, because also you don't know what beliefs and conditioning they came in with and what they're battling against in their mind and what standards and expectations there are. For your standards and expectations, it might seem that it's easier for them, but everybody's fighting their own battle with this thing between their ears called the mind. And that's why I'm a real advocate for meditation, because you get to see in meditation that you are not your mind, and there is a deep, beautiful stillness behind that. Join my Meet Yourself program if you really want to dive deep into that, because that stillness is there all the time in abundance. That's an abundance that we all have, just like nature. Everything is all of that abundance, the sunshine that gives itself to us unconditionally. There's so much, so many wonderful, wonderful things happening for us, but we're conditioned to look at what's not working and focus in on that. And that's a protective mechanism that's built into the human condition. But when you get that and realize, oh my God, I've been just focusing on all the negative stuff that's not working, when actually there's a whole heck of a lot that is working. And the more that we focus on that and recondition our minds, because this is all mind conditioning, by the way, all our standards, all expectations, etc., is all conditions that we have adapted. It's like in my blog that I wrote this morning, it's like we are the ocean, and then as we're coming to shore, we become waves. And all of us are these individual waves with individual thoughts and individual conditioning, but it's all, it's not who we truly are. It's not who we truly are. And we can peel away those layers, become more aware of them and peel them away. Anyway, that is my sharing. Um, yeah, I mean, for me, I guess the risk of the way that I speak out when I speak my truth um, is that I will offend someone. I absolutely, the last thing I want to do is offend anybody. Some people are just not going to get it, and they can just move on and make me wrong, and that's okay. It's unfollow, etc. um but the ones that do, I'm here for. It's like I'm here to strike an exacting tone, to speak my exact truth, and I trust and know that those that it resonates with will get it. And that's why it's unfiltered, raw and unfiltered. And it takes courage. I really had to let go of the need to be liked, let go of the need to be popular, let go of the need for people to recognize the clarity in it. And I had to accept the fact that I will be judged, I will be criticized. And actually it's very liberating when you're no longer, when you choose to no longer let that have power over you. But it's also, there is a place for explaining and helping to clarify. Bottom line is, I believe that it doesn't help us, even though I can understand when somebody's nervous system is really fragile, that, a very soft, caring, compassionate approach is necessary. And what I'm speaking to is the mind, not the person, not the, we are not our minds. And what I'm doing is helping raise awareness of, look how your excuses are not serving you. But it's not something to take personal, like that's what that person implied as well, that I was saying that people are fools for listening to their excuses. It's, excuses are what keep us, excuses and justification are what keep us stuck. And my intention with my work is to help unstick people to move forward in an aligned direction where you are 100% living in your truth, in alignment, in trust, in faith, in abundance, in gratitude. And also sometimes in anger and sadness and all of those things. It's all part of it, not denying any of it, but with a clear mind. A clear, healthy mind, which is why fitness is so important as well, and why I'm on this fitness journey. Um, I definitely work in a toxic workplace, but for health reasons can't leave right now. Oh, so lovely to see you. I think you do so often. Bert, thanks for commenting. That's interesting about the toxic workplace. I just had that conversation yesterday with somebody who has left a toxic workplace. And actually, two conversations this weekend. Workplaces are so toxic. And you have my deepest sympathy for that. And interesting, but for health reasons, I can't leave right now. And maybe for health reasons, that's why you need to leave. It's like, and I know that's very easy and simplistic for me to say. Deep, deep courage, trust, and faith are needed in those situations. Can't wait for the day when it comes to resigning. Make it today. Make it today. What's the worst that can happen? Might have to downsize, might have to move. It's all a weighing up, but living a life of integrity is and not fearing. I think not fearing, those changes. Um, there's a lot to be said for that. That's true, but fear starting a new job, yeah, new job probation, living it bipolar, yeah. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot, Bert. Yeah, you're so creative though. I know you. You're so creative, and it's like so. What I see in my work as well is creation. It's like I'm just allowing the flow, and I'm being more and more it's just allowing it to come through unfiltered. And this is what, like, with a blog this morning, I had no intention of writing a blog, but it just came to me, and it just it's like it just comes through. And I don't want to sound airy fairy, but it really is. When you allow that creation, when you allow God to be so fully present in you, um, and you trust that you're, it's like you're going to be held, but you've got to trust in that. And we don't, and we go into our minds, um, and into fear because we get tested. This is a true story. I actually, I really feel a calling, and I might do it if I've entered this fitness competition, and I got this. I read this post from a great coach called Janet Kingsford, and she says when she wins something or when something good happens, she celebrates in three ways. And she said by a symbol and by an experience and by giving, paying it forward. And I thought, oh, that's a really good idea. So when I win this competition, because I'm visualizing winning this fitness competition, so I thought, oh, what symbol will I get? And I'm like, I'm not much of a jewelry person, but tattoo. I'm really tempted to get a tattoo. I thought, okay, that could be my thing, and I actually want to get a tattoo on my arm. And I looked up in Latin, "In God I trust," because that's it. I want to be reminded all the time to trust God. And what is it? Indio Carpedo or something like that. It's really cool. So I might tattoo that on my arm because just as a constant reminder, because when we're in that place of trust and flow, that's where the magic happens. That's where we work with life. When we don't trust that, then we work against life, and it's very scary. I was just literally as I was walking along that road, I was just thinking about. I don't think I realized how much courage it requires to live this a life of truth and alignment. It requires deep courage, and it requires not being afraid of losing people, because not everyone will get you. And it's okay when you're at peace with yourself. You just trust that as part of the journey. Yeah, to lose people, to lose things, to lose um, people's approval of you. You'll lose a lot, but you gain your power back, because we give power away to those people in those situations, but we get to take it back. So it's a great gift. It's a great gift, and sometimes life forces you into situations where you're like, my only option left is deep, deep courage. My only option left. So what I want to say also is, if this is resonating, um, I want to say I get you, because it can feel lonely sometimes, but there's many people, there's many women on this journey that requires great courage, and you're not alone. You're not alone. So yeah, I'm gonna speak out on that more and more, because there's just so much bullshit that we put up with and tell ourselves, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. In God I trust. I don't know how it can work if you don't have that relationship with God, though, which for me, it's a practice, to work on. deepening that. And um, something that I, even for me, I had so much kind of conditioning around, the Catholic Church, and so much, kind of um, around it, that I was shy to even mention it, but obviously I had to let go of that, um, because it's really important to me, my faith in God. And I'm not affiliated with any religion. That's not necessary to have that deep relationship with God. Nature is my religion, I think. Voila, there's my thoughts this morning. Wishing you lots of love and lots of courage. I know there are people, and there's people reaching out to me privately, going through really, really deeply challenging times. And you're not alone. I'm sending you love and strength, so much strength. You've got this. Um, yeah, your reality can change in an instant. One of my favorite sayings, your reality can change in an instant. With energetic shift, as we shift it's magical how it happens, when we shift our beliefs and our conditioning, interesting things happen. Interesting people show up in our lives, and we get interesting messages. So trust that. Need some bravery, maybe we need to have a chat. Yeah. Yeah. Bear, that's what it is. 100%. It's courage. It's courage. It requires such deep courage and risk taking. And just weighing up the cost of not having the courage. What's it costing you not to just say, fuck it, my life is worth more than this. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it, and trust that you're not going to end up living on the street. Although living on this street wouldn't be too bad. It's pretty gorgeous. Lots of love.